Morning world, it's the 26th of October 2022. It's about 8:30 in the morning UK time. Excuse me. No politics today. No ranting. Basic astrology. This is for the students of astrology. This is a relook at a 2022 version of the progressed horoscope. The roots of the progressed horoscope are something that I don't know about, which is a pain to admit. There's no sign of the progressed horoscope being used in antiquity, either in ancient times, in the earlier part of the first millennium, in the Middle Ages. I found no trace of the progressed chart being used. The earliest time I know of the progressed chart, without doing a great deal of research, was around about 100 years ago with Alan Leo. So what is the progressed chart? Let's deal with the mechanics first of all, just for a minute or two. And then we'll get to the meaning and how to use it and work with it. There's two types of progressed charts that are commonly in use. There's the primary progressions and the secondary progressions. Primary progressions are where you take the movement of the sun over the course of a day and you move the planets and the sun and the moon and the ascendant and the midheaven in the chart forward, that amount of movement that the sun moves in one day for each year of life. So you move all the planets forward about 1 degree for each year of life in the progressed chart. So the planet positions move forward 60 degrees will relate to about 60 years of life. Using this system, the pattern of the horoscope never changes. The aspects in the horoscope never change. It's just its position in the signs of the zodiac change. Using secondary progressions, it's a little bit more complicated, but I think a lot more authentic. You move the planets forward 1 day of movement for each individual planet for each year of life. Therefore, the planetary positions 60 days after you were born relate to your 60th year of life. The difference is with primary, you move all the planets forward the movement of the sun. With secondary, you move the planets forward their own movement for each day. So 1 day of movement equals 1 year of life. The planetary positions 30 days after you were born relate to your 30th year of life. So what does it mean? Most of the planets move quite slowly. The inner planets, Mercury and Venus and Mars, can move a degree a day, sometimes a bit more with Mercury, less with Mars. But then you've got their slowing down and speeding up for retrogrades. I tend not to use the progressions of the planets. I tend to use just the progressed sun and the progressed moon. The sun moves approximately 1 degree a day. Because the Earth's orbit is not perfectly circular, in the Northern Hemisphere winter months, the sun moves about 1 degree 2 minutes a day. And in the Northern Hemisphere summer months, the sun moves about 58 seconds a day. 58 minutes a day. So it's not quite perfect, but it's about 1 degree a day. So the progressed sun moves 1 degree a year. Therefore, if you allow 5 degrees of approach and separation to an aspect made by the progressed sun can last for about 10 years, although actually in reality it only lasts for about 5, 3 years in advance, 2 years after. The progressed sun's movements show the long-term changes in terms of identity, individuality, sense of self, sense of uniqueness. Using my own chart for example, when I was 24, 25, the progressed sun passed on top of my Jupiter, which is when I went on one of these mind-expanding, mind-enhancing courses that were in vogue at the time. It was something called exegesis, or similar to EST, which was in vogue at the time. It's very easy to use the progressed sun in your personal chart move it forward 1 degree of movement for each year of life. Find out when the conjunctions and oppositions of the progressed sun are to planets in your birth chart, and look at those years and find times where your identity and individuality really evolved. The progressed moon is as significant, if not more so. The moon moves on average 12 to 13 degrees a day, so it moves on average 12 to 13 degrees a year in the progressed charts, about 1 degree a month on average. So the progressed moon moves quite fast. It covers a sign in 2.5 years. It has a similar rate of movement, not the same, but similar to Saturn. The progressed moon deals with the internal emotional situation. And the progressed moon can take 3 months in advance to coming up to a conjunction, and 1 to 2 months separating. So it points to situations at the internal emotional level where your buttons get pushed, where you become a lot more empathic, compassionate, a lot more cold, more distant. It's where your feelings and emotions become affected. Not so much by external people or environments, but by internal situations. And this leads to the crux of progressions. The progressed horoscope is nothing to do with the outside world. It's nothing to do with anyone else. It doesn't manifest as circumstances and events. The progressed horoscope deals solely with the growth of the soul from within. Now, sometimes when you have long-term transits, like for example Pluto passing over or opposite the progressed sun over a 2 to 3 year period, that can manifest in a person's life. The progressed moon can pass opposite one of the slower moving planets in the sky, like Neptune or Uranus, and there will be significant developments in a person's life, but it's more extraneous. It normally requires other transits in the outside world, in the transit chart, to trigger this into events. The progressed sun and progressed moon deal with one's internal growth. The growth of the soul from within in terms of identity, and the growth of the soul from within in terms of one's feelings, emotions, sensitivity, habit patterns, day-to-day life, routines, and basic personality. Without the progressed chart, I don't believe we'd have that capacity for self-reflective consciousness that we have, the ability to look at ourselves. It's an invaluable tool in astrology. Ignore it at your peril. Catch you later. Bye.